not see it switch again. If it's interlaced, you will see it switch, or if it's telesyn, you will see it switch back and forth various times, more than once. That's how you know it's telesyn. If it's interlaced, you will not even see this message. You will not see DMUX MPG at all. It will never switch frame rate. This very first frame rate is what it will play all the way through the interlaced movie. I have never personally myself seen content that is mixed, progressive, and interlaced. That does not mean that it does not exist. That just means I have never come across it. And I have, as you can see here, hundreds of DVDs that I've transcoded myself. I've got about 600. And I have never come across content that is progressive and interlaced mixed. So remember these 3 rules, okay? Check it out. Pay attention. 3 rules for identifying content type. DMUX MPG progressive content detected only 1 time. That means your entire video is progressive content. 24 frames per second, whole pictures for each frame, progressive content. Alright, if you do not see this at all, not even once, DMUX MPG message, not even once, your content is 29.97 or 30 frames per second interlaced content. If you see DMUX MPG switching frame rates more than once, if you see it say progressive and then switch it again, you have interlaced content, which is mixed between film frame rate, which is 24 frames per second, and telesyn frame rate to imitate the interlaced process. Remember, telesyn just imitates interlaced process frame rate. But anyway, if you see it switching frame rates back and forth, it's telesyn, which is mixed. Alright, now I'm going to tell you how to decode each one of them in the next video when I start showing you how to work with codecs. But that shows you how to identify them. Pay attention to those 3 rules. Don't forget them. Alright, that concludes this video. Like I said, go to linuxintro.com. Hopefully by the time you get there, I'll have typed out everything that I'm saying. But I'm talking an awful lot, so that's a lot of fucking typing. But hopefully, quickly, I will get my source files, like my scripts, my codec scripts, my encoding script or transcoding scripts, and links to these entire videos I'm recording right now instead of the YouTube 10-minute clips. Hopefully, I'll get that up sometime soon. But remember, Linux, Linux, intro, intro.com. Check it out. And for video transcoding, which you're watching right now, if you're coming from YouTube, go to Software Multimedia and then look for the ones that say Video Transcoding. Alright, that concludes this video. Thanks for watching. Hi, my name is Alex, and this is another linuxintro.com video. It's linuxintro.com. This video is a very long part of a very long series on transcoding video. It covers transcoding, it covers how to recognize video content, what it's made of, how it's put together, how to take it apart, how to transcode it and using different codecs, and eventually, starting in this video, we'll start showing you how to transcode it all your DVDs. Now, one thing I forgot to mention in the very first video is, and I might actually go record another clip really quick and concatenate it into the first video. One thing I forgot to mention, which I will cover again in this video, and the third, is that ripping DVDs is not illegal. Alright, check it out. By law, and now I'm not a lawyer, always consult a lawyer before you actually get affirmative or definitive legal advice, but anyway, by law, by copyright law, you are permitted to make a reasonable number of copies of any digital media you acquire. Now, when you buy a CD from a store or a DVD, you do not own that CD or DVD. You own a license to view it. Just like your operating system, if you're a Windows user, you own a license to use Windows, not Windows. You do not own a DVD. You do not own a movie. You do not own a album. You do not own a CD. You own a license to view or listen to it. Now, According to that license, by law, you are permitted to make a reasonable number of copies. Reasonable is an arbitrary term that is not hard-coded as far as value. They define reasonable as personal use. Anything that is typical of personal use, which means a couple copies. If you were not allowed to rip stuff, there would be no market for MP3 players. iPod would not have a market. This is because you have to rip a CD and convert it or transcode it to MP3 in order to throw it on your MP3 player. Therefore, you pretty much everything you do, you're ripping. Now, the big issue with ripping DVDs and CDs is a lot of people sell them and distribute them. Well, if you're ripping it for your own view or for your own use, for example, I have about 600 movies on one of my hard drives. If you're ripping it to view on your own, for your own viewing period, then it is legal. When you start passing it out, letting other people download it, selling copies of it, stuff like that, then you're breaking the law. By law, that is infringing on copyright rights, and it is illegal. So that is the difference. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because I get pissed off when I go to different, I look around on the internet, when I was doing my research on video transcoding, I've seen people in different forums that were scared to death to even talk about it. They would ban users or make lock their threads or their posts if they talked about transcoding videos and ripping DVDs. Like, people are fucking terrified of this stuff. And that's because the Motion Picture Association wants people to be terrified. The recording industry sues the fuck out of anybody who downloads or uploads or distributes anything. Now, they have the right to, because that's breaking copyright law, but it's given people the impression that it's illegal to make copies of anything, even for personal use, and people are scared to death to do it. And that's what the recording industry wants. That way, when you lose a CD or DVD or get scratched up beyond repair, you have to go buy a new one. That's more money in their pocket. That's what they want. That is not the law. Law states you are allowed to make a reasonable number of copies. Therefore, ergo, you are able to rip and transcode all of your DVDs onto your computer. Just don't go letting other people download them from you. That's illegal. All right. Now, having said that, we will start covering the second video where I show you how to transcode them. The first video I showed you, now, I say first video, but if you're watching this from YouTube, you're probably each video is probably broken up into 6 or 7 or even 8 pieces because it's limited to 10 minutes at a time. Therefore, when you go to watch it on my website, each video is, you see them all on one page right here for video number 3, which I recorded before I even recorded the first video. You see them all here on one page, but I'm going to actually break them up, each video, into separate article, and you just click the next button at the bottom of the page to get to the next part of the video. But it's only going to be 4 videos. They're just going to be broken up into probably a total of 30 10-minute YouTube videos. At the bottom of each article, I'm going to start, I've got links there now, but they're dead. They don't link to anything, really. I'm going to start letting you guys download the original high-quality versions to my videos. That way, you can see the text I'm typing. The quality is better. You can make out some of the details. So the reason why I'm mentioning all this is so you know that when you are downloading a video, then when you click next to get to the next page, you don't need to download the video again because it's the same damn video probably. You'll notice it because it'll have the same file name and it'll ask you if you want to overwrite the existing file that you already saved. If you see that, just know that you're downloading the original full-length video, not 10-minute clips of it. I'm breaking up the 10-minute clips into separate pages on my website, but the original videos I'm not breaking up. They are the original hour-and-a-half or 45-minute long videos, whichever they turn out to be. So just remember that, all right? So, to get to these video tutorials on my website, go to Software, Multimedia, and I just remembered I got to fix that. Anyway, and look for video transcoding. Alrighty then, now we can get started. Alright, in the first video, I showed you how to identify video content, how to rip a DVD, depending on if it's regardless as to if it's encrypted or if it uses Macrovision's rip guard technology or Arco's protection. I show you how to rip beyond all that to get a VOB file dumped on your hard drive.